In detailing children's development, Dr. Montessori observed certain windows of time during which children seem to be guided by a distinctly focused inner drive, when they're absorbed by particular activities or demonstrate a particular sensitivity toward certain skills. She termed these windows sensitive periods, intense periods of concentration and focus that are best served by prepared and responsive environments. Montessori originally observed in toddlers sensitive periods to language, to small objects, to grace and courtesy, to order, to music, to movement, to the refinement of the senses, to weaning, and to numbers. And others have appeared in older children's development, and even more have been identified in more recent years. Understanding the sensitive periods offers an answer key to some of the most curious behaviors that your child might exhibit. Why does my toddler melt down every night if they can't have the same fork for dinner? Probably a sensitive period to order. Why does my toddler insist on picking up pebbles at the park? Probably a sensitive period to small objects. Why can't my toddler sit still while they're waiting? Probably a sensitive period to movement. Why does my toddler use so many words but misuse so much grammar? Probably a sensitive period to language. These behaviors, which can be so befuddling to adults, are likely outside of the child's conscious choice. Quite the opposite. If a child is in a sensitive period, they're driven intrinsically towards the satisfaction of that sensitivity. There's something about the quality that supports the child in building either a physical attribute, like muscle control or vision, or a cognitive attribute, like the ability to communicate or to classify, or even an emotional one, like a sense of their own agency, or an understanding of how reliable the world is around them. Redirecting children's behavior is not going to change that drive, but preparing ourselves and our environments to support it may. Montessorians consider each of the observed sensitive periods individually, understanding too that as our knowledge about children's development becomes more complicated and more nuanced, other sensitive periods may be identified. In general, sensitive periods are times when your child may show an intense motivation to learn particular concepts in a particular way. Although the sensitive periods will vary in duration for individual children and may vary in sequence as well, a child in a sensitive period will be easily identified by their fascination with particular actions or materials in exactly the same way as a child who is not in that sensitive period will lose interest in the same behaviors. Consider this internal drive as more of an opportunity to support your child's growth and less as a compulsion to avoid. The sensitive periods offer fertile times for children to learn in particular ways. A child who's in a sensitive period to language, for example, is ripe to adopt even complicated language structures with relative ease. A child who's in a sensitive period to grace and courtesy is perfectly matched to establish the kind of social habits that are going to help them long after that sensitive period subsides. Look to the sensitive periods both to prepare your child's emerging development and to make better sense of some of those confounding behaviors that your child might already express.